Hello, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Dan Ladi. What's yours?
My name is Gordon Carter. I'm a teacher.
Nice to meet you. So, guys, today I'll be doing something different. I'm very familiar with who I'm seated here with, but I wanted you guys to know for yourself who he is. He's my strategic management lecturer. So I thought it would be wise to, interview him, ask him a few questions because he's a very insightful lecturer. And each time he teaches us, it's just the fact that we get to gain a lot of knowledge. Not saying that the rest of the tutors are not doing amazing, but it's the fact that he is just in a way that he makes you understand what is being taught. So I'm really happy to have him here with you, boss. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
It's actually the first time that a student has decided to ask me for an interview.
Yeah, you said so. You said
thank
so.
you. It's an honor from my side as
It's
well.
also an honor for me. So I'm happy to have you here. Can you tell us why you got into strategic management?
So, in reality, to be fair, I teach different modules and subjects, okay, and quite all over the place. Originally, actually, I taught marketing, okay. It's a subject that I've always liked ever since I was a student, practically a teenager, I had business studies at school, then in post-secondary, it was marketing. Originally, I actually chose it as an intermediate level, which I always had good grades in. And eventually, when I started working, okay, I figured it was a great subject to have because it's very applicable to combine when you start working. And it can be applied to different areas of work as well.
Okay.
Although, of course, I teach different subjects, but marketing, okay, the fact that, like I just mentioned, you can apply it to different contexts and areas and work and occupations, it's great in that way.
I wanted to ask, teaching is considered a very, very technical field. Teaching, for you to be a teacher, it takes so much patience. Why did you get into this field? Why did you become a teacher?
Okay, very good, very interesting question. I'm a big believer in your job, your occupation, being quite relating to your character. I feel that there's always an element. For example, if you are someone who is more extroverted, let's say, okay, your job tends to involve you more having a gravitation to working with people, right? Or there are some people who, for example, I've met them, like they're very skilled in IT, okay, but they prefer having their own office, okay, and they can do great, products, develop great programs, okay. But I'm a firm believer in choosing a job that resonates well with your character, because I feel that it will have an effect on the end product, even on your performance. As far as me being a teacher, it was something like natural from when I was younger, right? Like even I would help even some friends do their homework sometimes, okay? Sometimes they would help me as well, right? To be fair. But it was like when I was good at something and then maybe someone else had like challenges or difficulty, it was something natural, I liked explaining, okay? If you ask my friends, probably they will, resound that a lot, like, yes, he does explain a lot sometimes, even when people don't always ask me to. But I like when I see someone that is having trouble, okay? Because even in certain aspects, I've had trouble myself understanding. I wasn't a fast learner in everything, so I know that position, and it's not a nice position to be in. So having someone like explain to you in a way that you can understand and feel better even about the subject, it's always a good feeling. So the fact that I've been in that position, I think, also helps me to be relatable to the student as well.
Okay. For someone that has never heard about strategic management or marketing, The fact that you teach both courses is very, 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 very different because you're so good at strategic management, the course itself, because of you, I've been able to understand a lot about the key concepts of strategy in business and how important it is in business. What's the connection with strategic management and someone who wants to go into marketing? How do these things interconnect? How are they important with each other?
Okay, very interesting, because like I mentioned first, marketing, the great thing about it is that you can combine it and apply it to different jobs, different areas, okay? In fact, people working in marketing can tell you, they might be working 1 year with a car company, then they might go with an insurance company. In 5 years, you see them at university, working in university, or with a gaming company, okay? And they can still be working in marketing. And when it comes to strategy, I mean, if you think about it, strategy is not just part of work, but even part of life. Think about someone, who even travel to another country, for example, to educate themselves, look for better opportunity. It's a type of strategy. As you know, I like to, maybe even the fact that I teach mathematics, I like to have a kind of an objective, like scientific approach to explaining things. So the way how I like to explain certain social elements like strategy or abstract elements at times as well, I like to kind of create these sort of formulas.
Nice.
And if you remember, in fact, in one of our lectures, I like to explain strategy, okay, is where we are now,
Here we want
where
to
do we-
go.
and how to get there. You see how many great students I have.
Stays with me because you really go into detail. I used to tell my classmates that when it's your lecture, I don't want to miss a minute. I want to be there when you are there. So I want to ask you a personal question. Teaching. Teaching is very important.
Yeah.
Without you guys, we can't learn.
Uh-huh.
Even if you're a doctor, you are a president, trust me, you had to go through the process of being taught by someone. What has been that most rewarding feeling for you? What gives you that fulfillment? Like you said, you like to do something that you align with. It's very important that when you're doing something, it's good that you align with what you love to do. What has been that most rewarding feeling for you as a teacher? What gives you that fulfillment that makes you feel like, oh, yes, I'm in the right profession?
Moments like this are a great example, okay? So definitely. And then whenever I get a question like that, so many experiences come to mind, okay? But what I like about teaching especially is, like you mentioned, in fact, it's at the crossroads of all the other areas, Anyone, whether they're a doctor, lawyer, people in business, at a point they had someone teaching them. Of course, yes, there are different teachers as well. I think that's something that I also like to point out, because sometimes there are people who approach me, who like even praise, teachers, and they, for example, they work in a sales team where they teach salespeople, or they work in a kitchen where they even teach people in how to handle yourself in a restaurant. And I always point it out to them in some way, you're also a teacher, maybe not in the title, but you're doing, you're teaching. And in a way, even from my aspect, because in terms of my occupation, I wasn't always a teacher as well. I've had other jobs, which I believe it helped me becoming a teacher more, like in terms of sharing value with my students, because I've had experience, all right? But in a way, even throughout my career, when I had these different jobs, it's still, okay, I was always in a position where either I shared my knowledge, whenever I worked, for example, I worked in a medical library. There were these workshops where we used to teach students how to do research and how to reference their dissertations, which is a very, challenging time for them. So, being there for them and teaching them, helping them. And you're seeing people who kind of are struggling or are facing these challenges that they're afraid of, and you're helping them. In itself, it's already very rewarding. So in a way, I would say that teaching kind of found me, because even when I wasn't a teacher in itself, in the title, I would always get these experiences.
Okay.
And because, of course, I liked it, it was always something that I wanted to do. Like, even I knew it, maybe even subconsciously, before I started actually working as a teacher professionally. I would always make use of these experiences, and that's why eventually I found myself throughout different opportunities, because sometimes a mistake that people do, I feel, is they kind of like to look at the end zone, kind of, but they don't realize that sometimes you don't go from A to Z immediately. You start from A to B, then B leads to C, and eventually you couldn't look at A to Z immediately. It's like the first step. You cannot look at the entire stairs. But then with different experiences, you start building opportunities. You meet different people who also tell you about different places you can go to, where you can learn. And eventually they see that you have experience. They see that you kept evolving in terms of, learning. And you will feel that the opportunities kind of automatically present themselves to you. Not because they are automatic, but because it's as a side effect organically of you presenting yourselves. And whenever there's an opportunity to learn, to do something, sometimes even when you're not 100% ready, because if you think about it, we are never 100% ready.
Sure.
And if you try to do things when you're 100% ready, you end up missing on a lot of opportunity. So in a way, I would say that, teaching found me, because whenever there were these situations, I took advantage, I presented myself, and eventually I had enough experience accumulated to the point where when eventually I actually applied, for a teaching position, based on the experience alone, which was a different route than the traditional teacher would take, let's say, I was quite, let's say, a good fit.
Wow, nice. Nice one.
Thank you.
Nice one. What's the one thing that you wish you had known earlier in your professional journey?
There are so many things. But, top of my head, I would definitely mention is, this is a quote that I heard, okay? Coincidentally, it was from a stand-up comedian, but it was on a podcast, okay? And basically someone was emailing him because he was actually a teacher, okay, who had a dream of being a writer, right? And his kind of challenge was that he said, in order to kind of follow my dream, I have to stop my full-time and end up teaching part-time to invest in this, to public my story. And he was kind of second-guessing himself, which is something that happens throughout different areas, to different people, okay? It's very easy to, discourage yourself, okay? I see so many people, in fact, that are actually so talented, but they basically do not follow up on certain aspirations or goals that they have, okay? It's easier than you think, okay?
Yes,
but basically the comedian, he told him, okay, and I still remember to this day, he said, never stop chasing a dream, because even if it's not 100% what you actually want, it always leads to something better. And I always remember that, it kind of made me think about different things that I wanted when I was younger, and I'm not necessarily big things, even from small things to big things, right?
Okay, sir.
But that, we say we want it, but then eventually we say, no, because I have to do that, maybe I have to travel, maybe it requires me to spend a lot of time, not with my friends, okay, or, which is natural. But the point that I stress when it comes to this is, if you really want something,
Yes, sir.
you're always going to have challenges. Sometimes even from the people who love you, even your family. Not because they do not want you to succeed. Because oftentimes we think that people who will stop us are the people who don't like us. It's not. You will get resistance, yes, of course. Okay, even like putting a video online, someone might say a mean comment, for example. So there are so many things that can stop you. But if it's something that, like, it's a matter of focus, right? If your focus is on the thing that you want to attain, okay, it's going to make you more invincible, right? And that's what you learn. It's not easy. It gets with practice. It's with presenting yourself every day, right? But one thing that's interesting also about what you asked me is what you wish you would have done.
Yes.
I'm sure if I go back into my early 20s, of course there are things which I would change. Talking like people sometimes ask you, do you have regrets, right?
True.
I think everyone in some way will have regrets. I mean, I think if you don't have regrets, it's like, don't you wish you actually, maybe with the knowledge you have today, did something different? But it's a matter of the level of the regrets, right? Because, a small regret would be me going to Costa and ordering the iced coffee instead of the chai latte, and then I get pissed off for like 30 minutes, okay?
Nice.
Or if you ask my friends, 4 hours. But I think the healthy thing is to work in such a way that you avoid having big regrets. Okay?
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yeah, big regrets
That's
would
nice.
be like me really wanting to.
Go back to that place where you made that mistake.
Yes, or it could be like I want to invest in a particular sports,
Okay.
but because I feel that I have my other job, or I have school, and it's I have to study and bring my grades, and I ignored that you might have a talent in that sport, or even in that skill. It might be playing the piano. Okay, that's something that I also tell students sometimes, especially secondary students. They tell me, I mean, I have to stop going to football practice, or I have piano lessons which I am reducing. I always say with good time management, okay,
Yes, sir.
you can still keep up. Why should you stop your piano lessons? Maybe eventually, like, you might graduate, you might have a nice corporate job,
Yes, sir.
but you eventually, after some years, you don't like it, or you don't like the long hours, even if it's a good pay. So maybe you have that piano thing to fall back on.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Like it could actually render you something which can still make you good money, because like we mentioned, okay, you can pretty much make a living and do money with different things and skills, but it's something that also makes you happy. Okay, sometimes even if you do not make as much money, but if you work hard enough and become good enough in that thing,
Yeah.
you can pretty much even do it and make a living with it.
I want to ask you something different.
All right.
For those who don't know you, many people know you in the professional world. Me, I know you just in this world, building. Who is Mr. Gordon Carter outside of
Okay.
teaching?
So basically, I'm good. I'm from Malta, so I like where I live.
I was going to ask you that. Where are you from in Malta?
I'm from Senglia. It's one of the 3 cities. So I think that also shapes your character a little bit. It's, even though it's a city, it has quite a nice environment because it's surrounded by the sea. We're quite loud and culturally,
Yeah.
we're quite distinguished. Okay, we like even Malta in general, as you can tell from the feast traditions. Okay, in Senglia we have the regatta as well, which is also one of those great traditions. So I like these sort of different aspects. As my character as a person, okay, I'm actually quite laid back, and contrary to popular belief, I like quite a simple life, although sometimes I tend to complicate things a little bit. But in general, I'm quite into, I love everyday things like food.
Okay.
I am into sports.
That side, I want to talk about it because one time in class you mentioned about starting off a gym class.
Yes.
Are you much into the gym world? Are you a gym enthusiast?
Yes, but I'm not your typical gym bro, if you know what I mean.
I understand.
I always like to, like I say in strategy, you know, you have to differentiate yourself. And the fact that I've trained in different disciplines, you know, also helps me because I kind of create this hybrid product, so to speak,
Okay.
which allows me to connect even to people from different sports and disciplines.
What type of hybrid products?
Originally, I was actually in martial arts. And then whenever you train something like that, you soon realize that you have to complement your physical, and I would take different routes, you know, whereas typically the go-to is you go to the gym, right? Lift weights, bench press, and, you know, but I always wanted to be creative in terms of how I do my training. And
Okay, sir.
I think eventually that benefited me even in terms of how I do it to other people when I'm training other people or helping.
I just
train
learned
them.
something new from you. Aside
Really?
being this, you know, serious strategic teacher, marketing, you know, you're
Yes.
also into martial arts. If you're going to give two advice to a student that's starting up with
All right.
life, going into the professional world, what are those advices you're going to give to them?
Okay, first of all, whenever you're doing a course, I don't care if it's a degree, postgraduate, you know, don't just study for the certificate. I know it's kind of goes against the whole point, right? Because of course you want the certificate because you asked for it, you present it, but you know, as great as that is, always seek to learn, and not just the syllabus and the, you know, curriculum, but like even whenever you have a teacher sharing experiences, stories, and not just a teacher, even you know, other students, like I mentioned, you learn even from your classmates whenever you're doing presentations, whenever you're doing teamwork. Okay, so always be seeking to learn the core, you know, which would be the syllabus, but also around it there will be other things that you will be learning. Okay,
Definitely.
even sometimes when I am learning myself, like whenever I go, last year I redid the first aid course, you know. I was even observing how the teacher was structuring the lessons. I was there to learn, you know, the first aid, but as a teacher, it starts kind of reprograms your brain in the sense that you're always observing, you know, and you say, yeah, I can actually use this technique in my lesson, even how he's giving different pauses in between exercises. It can be simple stuff. Okay, and you can learn. I mean, I remember when I did the TFL course, TFL, teaching English as a foreign language. When there was COVID, there was the quarantine. I noticed that there was an increase in people teaching online. I said, this is actually a great opportunity to complement. And I had a great teacher. Okay, his name is Ellen Marsh. Actually, I would mention him because in 3 months, practically 3-4 months that I did teach learning from him, he actually taught us a lot of good concepts.
It's also for Malta.
Yes, I believe he lives in the UK,
Okay.
but he's originally from Malta. It was an online course,
Okay,
imagine.
sir.
But
Okay, sir.
you know, the things that we discussed, okay, and that he taught us were quite insightful, and not just in terms of teaching the subject, because that's another thing that I believe as a teacher. You know, it's the subject. It's also an excuse for you to teach students about life, you know, and connect it to different aspects of life. So that's also something. So to get back to your question, definitely don't study just for the certificate, okay?
sir.
And never stop learning. And by learning, I don't mean just, you know, degrees and courses. It could be learning, like we said, a musical instrument. It can be taking, I don't know, a course, flying, you know, planes.
anything,
You know, you never know. So because you branch out, it's nice because you're kind of creating a versatile outlook for yourself, and it's always good, you know. Even learning can take place in different ways, not just the typical studying. Okay, even reading. You can listen to audiobooks. Okay, so, but never stop learning, not just because you're doing a course, but
Okay.
try to branch out as much as possible in a way that makes sense to both your career and also your lifestyle.
Oh,
I think
okay.
top two.
Oh,
Though,
wow.
though that comes to
Never
my
stop
mind.
learning. That's very
Yes,
important.
but
sir.
in different ways, not just, courses. I mean, and courses can be different courses, can be degrees. It
Yes,
can
sir.
be you learning like first aid. It can be, for example, in my case, since I'm also, branching into sports, learning about sports therapy, for
Okay,
example,
okay, sir.
which is something that in the
important.
future I wish to, delve deeper into. Okay,
sir.
but that it makes sense to you and that you like. I mean, I see people learning, even senior citizens. Well, why not?
Wow.
It's good to keep learning and evolving because it complements your life on multiple levels, I believe.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir Gordon, it has been a wonderful day, chatting with you.
Likewise.
Like, I've enjoyed the whole chat. It has been a very insightful one. Yeah, you are a teacher, and I know you definitely meet lots of characters in your profession. Today, there was something you said when you were done with the lecture. You gave remarks. You also acknowledged us as students, and how you normally do motivate us. Tell us, oh, you like the characters that they bring to the classroom. You were very encouraging. I want to ask you a very funny question. What's the most weirdest thing that you have experienced as a teacher? You don't just teach us. You said you teach other students, even lower grade students, secondary,
all ages, I thought.
and you are a freelancer.
Yes, yeah.
I want to ask you two questions. One is, why are you not a permanent lecturer at a place?
Okay.
And secondly, what's the most craziest thing or weirdest thing that has happened in your classroom?
Okay, both are interesting in their element. So basically, for the first question, I actually love teaching secondary school. I actually started from the adults, okay, and then the secondary school teaching presented itself actually later on, which is actually something that I've always wanted to do. But the thing is, you start, teaching and you start gaining this experience. And when you love it, I mean, at the end of the day, it's important to love your job. That's another reason why I say, to people learning doing a course, whatever you can learn, whether it's a course, whether it's learning with your, parent, uncle, friend, whatever. You'll never know when it can be valuable to you. It might even, again, render an opportunity for you to make a living with. So the thing is, when, teaching made me, it presented so much opportunities to me that like it becomes naturally more organic. Like you start teaching the students in secondary. Eventually, again, like I said, I always also like different subjects like marketing, digital marketing. An opportunity presented itself for me to teach. It was originally a school in Mosta, which no longer operates today. Basically, I started teaching digital marketing, which again was, like I mentioned, the topic that I liked. And eventually from there was another school which also had modules which were quite interesting to me that I started teaching. And eventually you keep building and you accumulate experience. You're even teaching wise, it's like when I compare myself to just 4 years ago, the fact that I taught so many different people and different modules and topics as well, I feel that built me up and integrated my teaching skills so well to the point where, today it comes much more naturally to me, because it's like when you start, it's, you have even TV show hosts that say this, like you're constantly thinking about what you're going to say, like to mentally prepare yourself. Today, I have practiced it so much time and don't think I was always like this, but that's why I always say practice makes perfect, because I have done it so much time that it comes naturally. Like I walk into the room, like you notice in me, even from my lectures, of course, you have to plan, you have to have structure, but at the end of the day, then it becomes second nature to you. It's good that you're knowledgeable about the topic you're teaching, of course, and that you're constantly keeping yourself informed and be open to learn. But at the end of the day, the more you practice, the more it comes, naturally, and it will be reflected even into your performance. So basically, like I mentioned, the teaching opportunities kind of kept representing themselves as I was also evolving and seeking new opportunities to teach and learn. As far as your other questions, okay, the craziest things. I mean, teaching different ages, especially secondary school kids, although you'll be surprised even with adults sometimes. But I think the craziest thing, which is also funny and also a bit, quite heartwarming as well, was when I started teaching secondary school in my first year, and there was actually a class which was quite, to put it lightly, let's say troublesome, okay? And, like they were kind of warning me about this class. And my approach was still like the same, and in the sense that I'm not going to be different, but I'm going to adapt, okay? Which is also something that we mentioned is very important. And I could immediately tell from the first lesson, and I always adapt. Like when as you know, when the class it's interested, it's you have people participating, people being respectful. I'm going to be more of myself. I'm going to be more lenient. I will joke much more, because at the end of the day, I want my students, whichever age they are, to enjoy the lesson while they are learning. Okay, but sometimes the hardest part of teaching, it's not the subject itself, but getting people in line to be able to teach them. Okay. But when it came to this class, okay, I kind of showed them that, listen, I can be very beneficial and I can be very, let's say, fun with you, but you have to allow me to, okay? And I would kind of look at different students, their strengths, even their challenges, because sometimes students who are being naughty, let's say, it's probably because there's an underlying issue there. So I would kind of be observant, okay? I would tackle. You have to be assertive, okay? You can't always be Mr. Nice Guy. Like it's like when we mentioned with management, you have to, wherever people deserve it, you have to let them have it, whether it's a reward or whether if it's something that needs to be addressed, because of a negative element. And when it came to these students, and it wasn't even like the shouting or screaming, it's that you have to reason with them. You have to reason with them. You have to find the level where you meet them, And I was able to do them, to do that, like with experience, of course, okay? And it's good to be rewarding, because I believe a lot in positive reinforcement, okay? Sometimes, unfortunately, we think more of kind of punishing or negative, result. But in this case, I show them, listen, the cool people, the good students are going to be rewarded with me, okay? And by the end of the scholastic year, basically, I had quite a great connection with them, to the point where in my last lesson, and this is the crazy thing, I actually sat on one of the students' table, and they took turns all imitating me. So think about it. So the fact that for them, where they were used to
you already,
yes, not only sometimes not talking, but kind of being not left to do certain funny things.
True.
When I saw that they were doing good things, I rewarded them by allowing that to happen. Okay, because sometimes it's the same thing but under different contexts.
True, sir.
And it's like we said, it's using the same things you have, but for a greater outcome. Okay, so
Wow.
at the same time, it's kind of a lesson as well.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much.
It has
Thank
been
you.
nice
It's
having
been
you.
a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate you so much.
Thank you, guys.
I also want to thank you for the encouragement that you gave to me from the first day I told you I started a YouTube channel.
Yes, all from the heart.
Thank you
And
very
I
much, sir.
believe
Thank
in
you
it.
very much, sir.
All right,
Guys,
thank
it was really nice having Mr. Gordon with me. I really appreciate him so much. He didn't have to, but he did it. Thank you very much,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank
Hi, guys. My name is Dan Ladi. What's yours?
My name is Kelvin.
What about yours?
Joseph
Jose, what about yours?
and Gilbert.
And Gilbert. I'm a student of Global College Malta. What students? Where do you guys school?
We go to Amcast and
MCAS.
Paula.
Paula, nice. What do you guys study?
So we study about aviation. We don't study, so me and Gilbert and Joseph, we only study about cabin crew.
Okay.
But this course is not about cabin crew only. We study a lot about all the industry, you know.
Okay.
So, for example, you can work in ground crew for baggages, or you can go on the airplane too. You can study about the airplane too,
Okay.
Or in office as well.
or in an office.
But nobody's gonna be flying.
No,
No.
not now.
Okay, not now. Okay. So
That is my final destination.
you want to be a pilot?
Yes. I
Oh,
start off cabin crew and then I proceed to become a pilot.
that's nice. Why do you want to be a pilot?
Ever since I was young, I've always been fascinated by planes. I always liked to travel from when I was young. I didn't travel a lot, but the few times that I did travel, it was something very special to me and how the plane works.
Just to clarify, you said you like how the plane works.
Yes.
So that's why you want to be a pilot. What about you? Are you satisfied with being a cabin crew or a ground crew?
I'm satisfied to be a cabin crew.
Okay.
That always was my dream job. I was always passionate about going on a plane and seeing cabin crew work.
Okay.
And it's a, how do you say, it's a hard job because you have a lot of stuff to do. You have a lot of responsibility for cabin
Cabin crew.
cabin crew and people, you know.
Yeah.
You need to ensure their safety.
I always see how they always make sure they do the
Yeah.
same protocols
That's a very
over and over
satisfying
again.
job. Yeah.
It is. And you guys are always looking very clean. I like
Yes,
the suit,
yes.
you know. What about
One of
you,
the main
bro?
things.
I aspired to become a cabin as well. Maybe I started to like for this role maybe like 2 years. But
Okay.
I wasn't passionate about being cabin crew before, but now I kind of saw and
Okay.
I kind of liked it and I wanted to, try
Good.
and see how I go.
Amazing. So a little bit of fun, yeah. Where are you guys from?
I'm from Marsa.
What about you?
I'm from Bukirkara.
I'm from Kalkara here.
Everybody's from Malta.
Yes.
You're talking about the football. What club do you support?
I support Real Madrid.
What about you?
I support Liverpool.
And you?
I'm not very passionate about football, but if I was to choose, I would go to United probably.
Oh.
Different.
Okay. So what are you passionate about, bro?
Mostly like the aviation. I mean, I don't
Oh,
really have a
wow.
specific sport or something, but I would know about the world kind of.
Okay.
There's different cultures, different people.
That's nice. That's nice. So if I should ask you one quick question, what's that thing that you love to do that you're passionate about?
About the football or about?
Not just football, life in general.
I mean, I'm passionate about a lot of things.
Okay.
I like football. I like the aviation industry. I like to go in different cultures too.
Okay. Nice.
I mean, my dad is Libyan too.
Okay.
So
nice.
I'm half
Beautiful.
Maltese and half Libyan. So
All right. Beautiful.
I mean, I like to travel the world, you know.
That's
That's
nice.
the
That's why
that's
you
the
are in
main
that
reason.
field.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's the
beautiful.
main reason I want to like start the aviation and
That's
to
nice.
travel the world and see more cultures.
That's nice. What about you, bro?
I'm passionate about a lot of things, like you said. When I was young, I used to play football.
Oh,
But
wow.
then I
Nice.
stopped and I started rowing. Regatta, it's a Maltese type of rowing.
Okay. Okay.
I like also the aviation industry, obviously.
Okay.
Ever since I was a kid, I was, like I said, astonished by planes.
Okay.
I like to travel as well. It's one of I want to travel almost the whole world if I can, apart
Wow.
from being a pilot as a holiday.
Amazing. Amazing. So, an unbiased prediction. Who's winning the Champions League this season?
Real Madrid, obviously.
What about you?
I would like to say Liverpool, but the current form,
It's not given.
I hope that Arsenal don't win it.
I don't think Arsenal will win it. Let me just say that here. It was nice having a chat with you guys. It was really nice. It was
Same
really
goes.
nice. Nice to meet you, bro.
Nice
You
to
don't
meet
watch football. Man United is not in the Champions League. What would be if you're gonna make a wish? What would be your best wish?
I mean, since I chose United, I would kind of thing to, maybe they win.
In terms of life in general, what's that one thing that you want to happen to you?
I mean, travel the world, I think.
Travel the world. What about you? If you had a chance to make one wish, what would be?
Get rich and disappear.
What about you?
Obviously to become a pilot and to make my parents proud that
Bro,
I made.
I hope you become a pilot.
Thank
I
you.
like the fact that you're passionate about it just because of the fact that when I was little, I used to always say, I want to be a pilot, but it's not something that I chased. So proud of you, and I wish you all the best, bro.
Thank you.
Hopefully one day I'll be on air and it will be you. Bro, nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Guys, it has been an amazing day today, just right opposite my school. Wow, I enjoyed every bit of my conversation with my strategic management tutor, even though it's so sad because today might just probably be the last time he might be teaching us. As I move into a new semester next year, so far so good. I enjoyed my chat with him. I enjoyed my conversations with him. I enjoyed the opportunity that he gave to enlighten me on different topics, and I hope it was also very helpful to you out there. He's a very insightful lecturer. Just like the other of our lecturers, they're also very insightful, just that I wasn't able to also get timings with them. But I hope in the future I get to interview some of my lecturers also, just so you guys can learn one or two things from them out there. My lecturers in Global College Malta are so amazing, and they are very, 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 very caring. I really appreciate the time I have enjoyed doing this today. So I also got to interview a few guys that I met, nice, handsome gentlemen, They are studying cabin crew. Some of them want to be pilots, while some of them want to be cabin crews, but they also got to share me more information about the cabin crew ethics and the fact that some people are ground cabin or some people are on the ground crew while some are in the cabin. I enjoyed my conversation with them. We also spoke about football. One of them is a Madrid fan, but yeah, he was a cool guy. It was a wonderful day overall. I enjoyed doing this, like I told you guys. I also asked you guys to continue supporting me. This is just the beginning of something really, really special. And I tell you guys a lot of times, I'm going to take this to a level where you don't even believe what you're witnessing. That's because of the support that I get from you guys. You guys fuel me and you guys drive me to continue. I'm so passionate about vlogging. For me, this is my purpose. This is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. Just communicate with people, meet new people, have conversations, It's one of those things that makes my day very fulfilling. Thank you guys for everything. I really appreciate it. My name is Dan Ladi. I'll be fine boy we get future. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is just the beginning.